Amazing. Haha, we're live and it's looking good. Hang tight, hang tight. Beautiful. I think we're live, guys. I think we're cooking. Can you guys hear me? If you can, please let me know. If you can hear me, let me know in the comments. Oh, boom. Ali Khan can hear me. Aaron Vogler can hear me. Guys, I got great news. I think we are going to have a much better experience today. I know it's been a little choppy, but bless your hearts for sticking with me, guys. Welcome to the call. Welcome to the show. Welcome to West Africa. For those that are on, looks like we got Aaron and Ali right now on. If you're on right now, make a comment. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Tell me something so I know who you are, where you're from, and I can see how many people we got tuning in to today's episode of Making Hay with Dre. Guys, we're creeping up on episode 25, 26, which means we're creeping up on me doing this for 6 consecutive months with no breaks, except for there was 1 week, I do admit, when I was in the jungle in December and I could not tap into Wi-Fi, and that's just is what it was. I have had to post a couple times, but I have been very, very, very intentional about being consistent here. So let me go ahead and push record. I forgot to do that. Gosh, dang it. Hang tight. Give me a sec. Give your boy just a second. I'm coming. Oh, shoot. Give me a sec. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Hold on. Hold on. What is going on here? Hopefully. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Okay, guys, welcome to the call. I want to get some more people on here. If you guys if you guys can message a friend, shoot a friend a message. I want to get as many people as I possibly can on this call. But at the same time, guys, if there's one of you sitting on this call or 0, I will continue to give every single little bit of energy that I have to this call to deliver the message that I want to share today. But I just love when there's a lot of people and I can feel the energy, even though you guys are all across the freaking world. So we got Zane is here. He says, hi, Nick. We got Ali's from Pakistan. Zane is also from Pakistan. Ever since we made the time shift, I've seen a lot more people from Asia, a lot more people from different parts of the world that can actually get in on this call because of the time. So it's good to see that. Gary Waller, Oklahoma. What part of Oklahoma, Gary? You in Tulsa? You in OKC? You in Stillwater? What part are we talking when you say Oklahoma? Ollie says he made 2 websites and doing SEO. It is in the top 20 in 1 week. Dope, dude. Nice work. That means you either had good due diligence, you're good at SEO, or you're not clearing your browser history and you're confused and you think you're ranking. But I don't think it's the last one, but just to double check to make sure. Zane says, do you have a tree website in Fargo, North Dakota? I do not. I have not been doing tree service for a minute. I have a few sites, but I've kind of come out of that area a bit, and I'm in other niches for the last few years. So with that said, guys, oh, Broken Arrow, dude, I know where Broken Arrow's at, Gary Waller. I'm going to crack the Diet Coke. Guys, I got to tell you guys really quick before we get started on this. I'll be quick. I found monsters, guys, here in one of the supermarkets. I found monsters. By the way, Casey Marcus, welcome. He says, Nick the King. I found monsters in one of the supermarkets here, guys. I've got 2 sitting in my fridge right now. I couldn't believe it. I was so pumped. I bought like 6 or 7 of these things. Actually, they weren't that poorly priced, surprisingly. I bought these monsters, and last Thursday, I sucked one of these bad boys down. No, last Friday, okay? I drank one of these monsters. Saturday, I had another monster. And by noon on Saturday, I was dragging so hard. We went to the beach, guys. Beautiful beach. I was driving. I let our driver have the day off. I was driving. Guys, I almost didn't make it to the beach. And I was on the beach. I was just kind of a slug. I was just tired and needed a nap. Saturday night, no energy. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's not worth it, guys. I stopped doing them because I couldn't find them, and I felt so much better. So we're sticking with the DC today, guys, with the Diet Coke, all aspartame. If you guys don't know this aspartame, it's supposed to give you cancer like everything else. And we're just going to roll. So let me suck down the DC and let's get freaking cranking. Really? And when I say really, I meant ready. Okay, guys, let's do this show. I'm excited. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover. I got a fun topic I want to talk about today, something that I'm living, something that I'm breathing, something I'm eating, I'm sleeping. I don't like to talk about stuff on here that's theoretical or fugazi, as what's his name? Matthew McConaughey says in The Wolf of Wall Street. I like to talk about stuff that I've actually done and tried. Now, let me just say this. I do think the Wi-Fi is going to be a lot better today. I apologize if it goes out. If the power stays and the electricity does not go out, we should be good. I have a backup charger or backup battery that's supposed to keep the internet online. However, I've noticed that even though it's supposed to do that, it seems like it does not. I do have 2 other backups just in case, but we know how those have gone. The guy came. I told him, I said, dude, I run an internet company. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what it takes. I don't care if you need to put a dish that you import from Spain or from another country. I need internet, and I need internet that works and is reliable. Dude came and hung a dish that's massive, and it's still not the greatest, but it's a much better experience. And that's just what we're going to have to deal with, guys. Welcome to West Africa. Anyway, guys, Ali says, I'm in SEO 6 years doing blogging. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Guys, lots of stuff I want to cover. Let's get right into it. As I said, I appreciate you guys being patient with me. I'm going to get my screen set up so that if for some reason this stops going, I will know. So give me 1 second. I want to make sure it's still cranking and banking. Anyway, so thank you guys for being patient. It's not going to be a perfect experience, but you know what? I'm going to get the message across. And this is one thing that I've learned in my career is that you take imperfect action. You refine as you go. And if I had sat and I'd got to this country and said, well, let me get the internet perfect before I start going live, I would have missed 2 or 3 shows. In fact, probably wouldn't even be doing it today. And who knows, when maybe it's you, Casey, maybe it's somebody else, that whatever I say, it's something I say today is what you need to hear. That's enough to get you off of your keister, out of your comfort zone, to take action, to do that one thing that does the deal, that makes the money, that puts you in the spot to go to the next level. And then you tell somebody there's just this sequence of events. You always have to be taking action. So I realize it's not perfect. Deal with it. Okay. I'm dealing with it. Anyway, if electricity goes out, I'll be back. That's just what we're going to do. Guys, today's show, we're talking about simplicity. We're talking about simple is sexy. And that title may not sound sexy to you. That title may not be something that's attractive to you. That title might be something that doesn't have 1,000 people jumping on the call because it's not get rich quick or get rich sleeping or do this or do that. We're talking about plain, flat out simplicity, simplification, and how simple is actually the new sexy. Simple is how you win this game. And when I say this game, I mean the DRE game. And for those that are new to this show, we are talking about DRE or DRE. Shout out to Dr. Dre, not talking about him, but shout out to the man, the myth, the legend. Digital real estate, picking simple niches, going into cities that are not highly competitive, building tiny websites and renting those tiny websites out for passive income, semi-passive income for the person on there that's going to try and correct me and tell me that it's not fully passive. We know, okay? Guys, I am in a season of simplification right now. And that is why this message, what I want to share today, is something I can really speak on, something that I can share a lot on, because it's not an idea. It's one of the reasons I moved to this country. I moved to this part of the world and this continent, okay? You probably couldn't pick another part of the world that would be a more unrealistic place to run an internet business, with the internet the way that it is, with the electricity the way that it is, with all the things that are challenges. Just to do something, just to go and buy this is work. Just to get your power, you can't go pay it online. You got to go to the office, or you got to go to a shop and set. It's a thing. But I needed simplification in my life. And I want to ask a couple, as we get started into this conversation, I'm really excited about this. I want you guys to listen to what I'm saying. And I'm going to tie this back in with digital real estate. I'm going to speak on this a little bit of my experience so far. of what I've done, give you guys a couple of rhetorical questions, tie it into digital real estate, and show you how simplification is actually the thing that I did. I didn't know that's what I was doing. It wasn't conscious at the time, but it was the very thing that I did to go from negative $60,000. Guys, for those of you that are in other countries, now that I'm living in another country, and I say like amounts like $60,000, guys, $60,000. Let me do the math on $60,000 in this country right now in their local money. Okay. Give me a second. I think I have to turn my phone this way because I don't think it'll go. Let me try it though. I'm going to go ahead and try. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. I believe it's 1 point, if I'm not mistaken, because of the zeros. Well, let me just do it real quick. I want to give you the exact figure. Let me go like this. Hang tight. I'm going to tell you, and I'm telling you this because times this. Okay, how many zeros we got here? Boom, boom. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right, guys. The amount of money, when I talk about negative, for those of you that live in West Africa, for those of you that live in other countries, when I talk about negative $60,000, just to put it in perspective, in the local money here in this country, that is 120 billion leones. It might even be 1.2 trillion. I don't want to say 1.2 trillion because I don't want you guys to think I'm embellishing. It's either 120 billion in the B for billion, or 1.2. It's that kind of money in the local currency. I was in that kind of debt, and I went from that to making 7 figures in 1 year. In an 8-month period, I scaled up to $100,000 per month. Did not understand it at the time, but a lot of what it was came down to simplicity. And so, my friends, what I want to start off this conversation, this call with, besides another sip of my DC, by the way, this is fresh, crisp. Thank you, aspartame. Is I have a couple of rhetorical questions, okay? Let me make sure you guys can still hear me. Zane says, Nick, is it true not every site will rank, so we should maximize sites? I'm going to come to that. It's a really good question, Zane. Stick with me because I would love to address this and answer this in detail. So stick with me, guys. And Zane, I want you to ask me that question in about 20 minutes, okay? Stick with me. Here's my first question for you guys, okay? And I want to get a couple answers from you guys. I like when there's a little bit of interaction here. Number one, what are the 20% of things that you are currently spending your time doing that are producing 80% of your results? What are those 20% of activities that you're spending every day doing, or weekly doing, or monthly doing that are producing 80% of the results? If you don't know, don't answer. Okay. If you do know, I'm curious. What are the 20%, those 20% of things, those 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 things that you do every week that's actually producing all the revenue? Okay. Question number one. Question number two. What are the 20% of the things that you are doing that are causing you 80% of the stress, 80% of the headache, 80% of the grabbing your hair, pulling your hair out, hitting your head against the wall? What are the 20% of things that are causing the 80% of the stress? We can continue. What are the 20%? Who are those 20% of the people that you're hanging out with, talking to, texting, messaging, Zooming, whatever, that are causing 80% of your headaches? What clients are they? What friends are they? What family members are they? And one more, what are the 20% of those habits that you have that are producing either 80% of the results or 80% of the headache, the heartache, the stress, the hair pulling, etc.? Guys, it's about simplification, simplification, simplification. Okay. And I'm stealing a couple of these questions. I brought, guys, this is part of what I want to talk about. I don't know why this is the book that I chose, but I brought one book to this country with me. One. That's a lie. I brought the Bible too in the local language. I brought the Bible in the local language because I wanted to read it on the plane and get freshened up. And I brought this book. I brought the 4-Hour Work Week. And not because I wanted to only work 4 hours, because I'm still working, but because of the way of thinking. And I thought in my head, if I could get done in 4 hours what he gets done in a week, what could I get done in 40 hours? But I'm stealing a couple of these rhetorical questions from Tim Ferriss when he asked them in the book, and he says, what are those 20% of activities that are actually producing the results? Right? What are those 20? I'm going to see. Let me look at the comments. Let me see if we have any things that people are responding. Okay, Casey says yes. Does anyone have any specific thing that's producing all of the results? Okay, I'm going to give you one. I'll give you guys an example. And if there's anything else I would like to know, I'd like to know I would like you guys to share some ideas. For me, creating content. And it's hard to wrap your head around creating content when you're just getting started. You're just trying to build your personal brand. You're just trying to get a following. You're just trying to get started. And it feels like you're spending this time. You're like, man, I should be doing this other thing, or I should be doing that, because you're not seeing a customer directly come in from the video that you produced on YouTube yesterday. And it's hard and you don't see it immediately. But for me personally, creating content is the thing that produces so much for me. It allows me to it just keeps a steady flow of leads coming. Guys, for my digital landlords program, for my evergreen, my business, my actual clients, you have no idea how many people see my TikTok videos, see my YouTube channel, see an Instagram post, say, hey, I'm not really interested in learning how to do this myself, but I have a credit repair business. Can you help me get leads? Which I don't necessarily go into that space, but I have a XYZ business. Can you help me get leads? Guys, I get so many inbound leads that it's work sifting through them. I've had to pass them off to my project manager and say, hey, you need to go through this. I need to follow up with these people. For me, an activity that produces 80% of the results is creating content. And you could go deeper. Which pieces of content? Which piece of content? Is it your Instagram posts? Is it your YouTube videos? Is it your TikTok, blah, 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 etc.? And for me, this channel is amazing. This channel is something. You guys are amazing. You guys are always on this show. I appreciate it. You guys are engaging. You're asking questions, asking comments. The comments that you guys leave, the questions you ask, give me ideas for more content and more questions to answer, more content to put out. This right here, this hour, is one of those activities that's producing maximum results. So no matter how many hours I have to chip this down to, this show doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Now, we may tweak it, we may change it, we may add, we may subtract. This is one of those things that is producing the 80% of results. And I'm asking you guys to start thinking about this today. What are those? The question he asks in this book, he says, if something happened to you that was life-threatening, I think he says, or that caused you could only work an hour a week, 1 hour, what would you do in that hour? What are the things that you would do in that one singular hour? I think is what he says. That's the thing that you need to be doing. And hopefully you're smart enough to say the thing that's actually moving the needle, that's producing the income. And for me, content is a big piece. Now, you might not be in a place in your business where that is the case, because I know 2 years ago, for me, cold calling and getting business owners on the hook was that thing. I needed to continually do that. And then I got somebody to do that. And then it was closing was that thing, right? And then it was meetings with my team was that thing. And so it's this evolution. But guys, we need to start asking ourselves, what is that one simple thing? So guys, here's what I listed. I made this list. Let me see if there's any other ideas that people shouted out real quick. Casey says he bought sites to cut that time consumption out, but it's getting GMB. So Casey says for him, that thing is getting the GMB. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes hustle, it takes whatever, but him doing that thing produces 80% of his results, 80% of his leads. So it's worth the time. And I just want to get your wheels spinning. Okay. I'm coming back to this point, but I want you guys to start thinking along those lines. Okay. Guys, simple is sexy. Simple is scalable. Simple is repeatable, which is why it's scalable. Simple is how I went from negative 60K to 7 figures in 1 year. And I was this, and you guys have heard this, and you've heard this, and you've heard this, and it's why I was this close to calling it quits. And if you haven't heard this, I'm going to share it with you really quickly. In 2019, I was this close, and I don't mean this to be to blow this over or make it embellish. I was having conversations with my wife, with myself, with people in other companies about me letting go of the agency and going to work for another company and just be a sales guy. There is nothing wrong with being a sales guy. You can make great money, but I had just convinced myself or told myself that, you know what, this model, it wasn't what it was cracked up to be. And all the people that I knew that were making money were actually just selling programs, and they were selling for people that had programs, and none of them were actually making money. And maybe I should just go sell somebody's program and all these different things. And man, if I had stopped and I had known 8 months later, I'd be doing $100,000. Man, it's one of those, like the Think and Grow Rich. If you guys read that book, I think it's in that book. It starts off with the story about 3 feet from gold. The guy that like digs and digs and digs, and he has this land, he digs, he spends this money, and he literally sells the land, and somebody buys it, has heard that there might be gold, and literally was 3 feet from gold. And sometimes we don't understand how close we are, okay? But guys, simplicity, taking away, not adding, not always, what else can I add? What else can I add? What other this can I go to? What other podcasts? What other book? There's a reason I brought one book. And by the way, I've picked it up once in 2.5 weeks, and I read 2 pages and I got back to work. Okay. One book. Simple is sexy. Simple is scalable. Simple is repeatable. And simple is how I scaled to $1 million a year. Okay. Here's what I've done since I've moved to this beautiful country in West Africa of Sierra Leone, which is funny. It's not actually French or Portuguese or whatever people think it is. This was a country that was owned or settled by the British. And anyway, long story, but just, yeah, it's kind of funny. I had no idea where it was either. If you're wondering, I had to look it up 10 years ago when I found out I was coming here as a missionary as a 19-year-old kid. Here's what I've done since moving here. Okay. I used to be the guy, I used to be the person that read 20 books a year, 30 books a year. I never bought into the, I'm going to read a book a week thing. That just never spoke to me because it just seemed stupid and unrealistic because I wanted to do. However, if you would have caught me in like 2015 or 16, I probably would have done it. But I decided I'm not doing that. I'm not reading 20 books. I brought one. And I brought one because this book talks about, now it's not about how can I work less, it's about how do I simplify. That was the purpose of this, is I'm coming here. When people asked us why I was coming here, is because we needed to change our environment. We needed to have a pattern interrupt, and I needed simplification. My wife needed simplification. Our kids needed simplification. I brought one book, okay? Since I've come here, I have stopped listening to 1.5 hours per day of random podcasts and shows. And instead, I am only listening to specific podcasts, specific interviews, specific shows when I have a specific problem I need to solve or that are specifically related to my business. That's it. Okay. I don't go to the gym anymore and listen to an hour of somebody getting interviewed just because. Okay. I don't. I go and I think. And I'm not asking you to stop doing all these things. I'm telling you what I've done. I have since moving here, I have stopped listening to music almost entirely. I have listened to, in the last 2.5 weeks, I have listened to less than 2 hours of music. Okay. And before it was at least 20 of the 60 minutes, if not the whole 60 minutes at the gym. Okay. And when I was going to and fro, Drake here, Drake there, Lil Wayne on this way. Guys, I've completely stopped. Okay. I have stopped doing 7 Zoom calls with every member of my team. Let me get a little closer so you guys can hear me. I was doing a Zoom call with every single person, and I realized it's not necessary. Unless I've got something specific, I thought, how do I make it simpler? How do I make this simpler? And instead, I use a shared Google document. Guys, this is how simple I'm getting. I'm using a shared Google document with every person on my team. And on Monday mornings, I'm waking up and I'm letting them know these are the things that are priorities. These are the things you need to do. I created a system of how it needs to be done, how it needs to be reported. And I've almost entirely eliminated Zoom meetings, except for with my executive assistant. And I'm doing one with my sales guy this week. Okay. And I did one with my video editor last week. It's my first one since moving here. Okay. And lastly, I have stopped consuming social media content entirely. The only time you're going to see me posting is if I see a post in one of my Facebook groups or if I'm responding to a comment on one of my posts. The only time I'm getting on social media is when I am producing, not when I'm consuming. Okay. This is what I've done. And I've been here 2.5 weeks. And guys, if you had guys, gals, anyone watching this now, down the road in an hour, in a year, in 10 years, if you had any idea how much mental clarity this has given me by simplifying, by eliminating, guys, all I've been doing from the second I got on that plane, I went on my phone, I deleted all my apps, all of them. I started going through my pictures, deleted everything that was trash, that just a bunch of, those random pictures you take, got as many of those. I went a couple months back as far as I could before I fell asleep. I brought a couple of t-shirts. Okay. I brought one laptop. I have like 7 computers at home. One book. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Simple is sexy. Simple works. A lot of times what we think, and we see these videos and we listen to this guy, and he puts out great content. We listen to people like Iman Gadsi and Andrew Tate and what's his little minion that he's been training? What's the guy's name? The Twitch guy. Can't even think of his name. Aiden Ross. We think, and it's like, do this. Guys, what would it look like? What would your life look like if you looked at it the opposite and went, how far down the rabbit hole can I go? How simple can I make this where I wake up in the morning, I already know the things that I need to get done that day, and I do those things. That's it. Done, done, and done. Boom. I don't listen to 1,000 opinions. I'm not listening to this podcast, that podcast. Guys, you could not, the thing that I've realized about consumption and the things I've realized about even good stuff like books and podcasts and all this stuff, if it's coming at the expense of you doing work, stop. Including this. Do I want you to be here? Yes. Do I want you to listen? Yes. But if it's between listening to this show and taking action and calling business owners, choose the calling business owners. And I say that because even though, I might not have as many views on my video. Oh my gosh, heaven forbid. What it's going to do is you're going to go take action and you're going to set a business owner up. You're going to hook them, or you're going to close a deal, or you're going to get whatever. You're going to get that next win. And you're going to remember that I told you to do that. You're going to go, okay, now let me go back to that guy. I know you'll be back. Okay. But if it's between me listening to this show and taking action, choose the action, dude. Choose the action. Okay. I'm asking you guys to do it. I don't care. Notice I'm going to do this. I don't care if there's 0 people on. I don't care if there's 10 people on. I don't care if there's 100 people on. I know that I'm going to be doing this show. And the second that this thing goes mainstream, and I say this thing, I mean this business model, the second one micro influencer, one business influencer type of person shouts this business model out, game over. Okay. I'm going to keep putting out content. So don't worry about me, but if it comes down to me or taking action, take the action, please. That's the best thing you could do for me. Now, if you need this to know what to do, great. And I'm thankful that you're here, and I appreciate you choosing to join me on this beautiful Monday morning for you, Monday afternoon for me. Okay. Guys, let me tell you about 2019 December. A little quick. Let me make sure that everybody can still hear me. Okay, guys, can you guys still hear me? Let me know really quick. Can you guys all still hear me? Let me know, and I'll keep going. This is where we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. By the way, For those that were used to the Versace robe and didn't catch the last episode, I swapped out the Versace robe for the gray and black wife beaters because this just made a lot more sense in West Africa. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of this. If this offends you, go find another show. Okay. Okay. Everybody can hear me. Let's go, baby. Let's go in. Let's go in. Okay. Guys, let's do this thing. All right. Let's talk about 2019. Let's go back to 2019. I want to take you back to the 2019 December. Absolute chaos in my life. Okay, I want to paint a picture for you, and I'm hoping that if you're on live or maybe you're watching a replay of this, I gotta readjust here. My knees kind of hurt, and I'm getting old. I want to take you back to the chaos that I felt in 2019. And what's funny is from the outside, you never would have known. You never would have known. You would have thought I was crushing it. You would have thought I was killing it. And maybe that's you. Maybe I'm describing you, guy, you gal, that thinks that they're killing it or is trying to show the world that they're killing it. Is embarrassed because they're not killing it. Let me explain how not simple my life was in 2019. Okay. And I'm talking about the whole 19, but December. Okay. Let me explain the chaos. First and foremost, your boy was $60,000 in debt. So imagine waking up to that every day. Some of you guys can relate to that. Okay. You wake up, you think about it. Man, I got another client, $1,000 a month. Dope. Well, now I only got 59,000 more to go. That should put us paying this thing off in 2025, 2026, 2020, 2030, right? I had that. Next thing, I had seven different revenue streams. I thought that was the game. Somebody had given me advice that, hey, now you got a couple of clients, you got 5, 10 clients. There's other things that these guys are paying for. They're paying for software. They're paying for merchandise. They're paying for payment processing. They're paying for all these things. Just go and offer those same things, which I understand in theory that makes sense. But here I was, 7 different revenue streams, essentially 7 different businesses. I had my swag I was selling SEO. I was selling social media management. I was white labeling software. I was what else was I doing, dude? Just stupid stuff, man. Consulting. Guys, I was doing consulting gigs of how to grow your Instagram account. I mean, it's embarrassing. 7 revenue streams. Here I was telling everyone about all these streams of revenue, and none of them were making money. They all combined for a whopping $8,000 a month, which puts me almost paying the bills. Okay. 2019, I read more books in 2019 than I've read in 2020, 21, 22, and 23 combined. In 2019, I was crushing books, baby, crushing them. And I got all the books to prove it. You can check it out. I was reading all the books, so spending those 10 minutes every day, read the books, 10 pages a day, a book every month, whatever. I read a lot of books in 2019, okay? 2019, I attended masterminds, these lunches with all these local business owners, these guys that were also crushing it, right? Masterminds. I took lunches a couple times a week, guys. A couple times a week, I was going to lunches with people. There's nothing wrong with going to lunch with people, but I'll tell you, in 2023, I have been to exactly 0 business lunches. Well, that's a lie. I've been to 0 business lunches in the States. Since I moved to this country, I've taken a couple of breakfasts. I took a breakfast and a dinner, but those were me reaching out to some higher profile people in an effort to network for specific reasons, investment purposes. So I've done 2. Let me not lie to you. I've done 2. I did a dinner last week and a breakfast last week. Okay. Those are my 2 inside of this year. Okay. What else? What other chaos did I have? I was always on my phone. I spent more time on my phone that year than any year. Okay. Doing stuff, making calls, texting people back, signing stuff, checking with my sales guy, checking into my project manager. Just did it. Okay. And guys, I worked 60 hours per week, at least 60 hours plus per week that year, and getting nothing done. That was my 2019. Sounds pretty sexy, right? And you're wondering, well, why were you about to give up on the business model, right? Why were you about to call it quits? It's because I wasn't moving the needle, man. Okay. Now, let me tell you about 2020. Let me tell you about the year that we sailed. Let me tell you about the year that we went to the moon. Let me tell you about the year that we hit 7 figures. And it was also one of the craziest times in history. Okay. Let me just double check here, make sure we're still live. Just periodically checking, making sure we're still good. Looks like we are. Okay, guys, here's what 2020 looked like. July of 2020, we did our first $100,000 month. Okay. Unbelievable. 8 months later, never would have guessed. Here's exactly what I did to move the needle. And I didn't realize it, but I was just simplifying, man. Here's what I did. Okay. Number one thing that I did is I stopped going to the office. And there's nothing wrong with going to the office, and you can get a lot done from the office, but I stopped going to the office and started working from home. Why? Because we had a pandemic, right? That's how it started. And then a couple months in, when they opened it back up, I was like, no, I'm not going back in. I closed the office down. And I have since, in 21, I started going a little bit more because some of our team needed a little bit more personal interaction. But I work primarily still from home. I work from this exact room. It's my master bedroom in West Africa here. I'm not an office guy. I just simplified and said, I'm just going to work from home. Okay. I stopped doing that. That's the first thing I did. Second thing is I got rid of all the revenue streams, all of them. I got rid of all the revenue streams, AKA the shiny objects. Got rid of the swag, got rid of the social media, got rid of the consulting, got rid of the website building, got rid of the SEO, all of it. And I was making a chunk of money on SEO. What I did is I went and found somebody that was this guy was already working for me, a buddy of mine. I said, hey, what do you think about starting your own SEO company? What I'll do is I'll send you all my SEO. We'll sign it to your company name. You cut me a check. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk to him. You give me a cut of the SEO. What do you think about that? Boom, done, did it. Okay. Next thing I did, I chose one, not two, not three, not five, not a couple, one revenue stream. Okay. Instead of having 7, I chose one. That was lead generation. That was digital real estate, guys. I got into this business because I liked the idea of building digital assets and renting them out. And it didn't take me long. And all of a sudden, a couple years later, I have a 7 revenue stream business that's got me negative $60,000 in debt that's barely paying the bills. I shipped it down to 1 revenue stream. Okay. Next, I went to 1 deal structure. I said, I'm not doing commission. I'm not doing rev share. I'm not doing some joint venture BS. I am doing flat fee. You pay me every week the same. You pay me every month the same. If you want to pay in 6 months in full, great. We ain't doing this other stuff. And if I lose a deal, I lose a deal. I'm doing 1. Okay. Simplify. Next thing I did, I chose 1 sales process. I stopped doing 100 different things. Posting on Facebook every day, wrapping my car, a new wrap, going to masterminds, going to BNI, meeting with people that might have similar clients, taking lunches. I stuck to 1 freaking sales process, and that was sending results in advance, focusing primarily on pre-selling using paid advertising to speed it up. Okay, that's it. Same sales process over and over. I then went and I looked at all my niches. I said, dude, I'm in like 20 niches. I'm going to one niche that year. And that's what I did. I sold sites, yes, that I'd already built that were producing leads, but we built new websites in 1 niche. Okay. I did one deal minimum, said $1,000 or bust. We're going to $1,000 a month or above. 1 due diligence process. Guys, I think you get the thing. I went deeper and deeper and deeper and simplified. And I got rid of the revenue streams, and I got rid of all the niches, and I got rid of all the due diligence processes and all the partnerships and the JVs and the this and the that. And I said, I am going to do 1 thing really good. And I rinsed and I repeated and I rinsed and I repeated and I tested and I tweaked and I tried and I failed and I did it again and I did it again until I got the formula just right. Like a chef in the kitchen, like a scientist in the freaking lab, 2020. And that is where digital landlords eventually, what became digital landlords, the process of going and not waiting for a website to rank, not waiting 6 months to find out. Zane had a question. Should we expect our websites not to rank? Not waiting 6 months to see, is this website going to rank, and wasting all of our time, energy, resource, etc. I change the game by simplifying. Okay. This is the reason why my digital landlord program is so freaking simple. If you were in my program, and those of you that are on this call that are, the content is only 7 to 9 hours, depending on what speed. 7 to 9 hours to get through my content. Guys, we talk to people once a week or a couple times a month, and they're like, yeah, I talked to this other program, and they told me that I should plan on about 100 hours just to get through the content. Not mine. 7 to 9 hours to get to the content. Now, action-wise, due diligence-wise, actually doing, yeah, it's going to take work, dog. Of course it's going to take work. If it wasn't, that'd be a scam. But to get through my material, 7 to 9 hours, man, I cut all the BS. And guys, my first version is longer than my next version, version 2. And when version 3 comes out, it's going to be simpler. It's simplify, simplify, simplify. That's why it works. Okay. Next little tip that I'm going to give you, and something that I've done and has really, really helped me, is I've simplified my schedule. Okay. So simple. So simple. I'm going to tell you what my schedule is right now. I already know in 3 weeks, which I don't even know what the day is. I don't even know what the actual date, what part of April it is, what the day itself is, if it's the 15th, whatever. I already know next or in 3 weeks on at 12 o'clock on Monday, I know exactly where I'm going to be. I know exactly where I'm going to be. And at that exact time, I am going to be at the gym in the middle of the day, and I'm going to be at this gym on this compound, not another gym. And I know exactly what I'm going to be doing as far as the work. I know I've got it all planned out, guys. I already know. Okay. Here's my schedule. My Mondays, I wake up, and the first thing that I do is I get all of my human capital working for me. Okay. I just like I told you guys, I created a new system, and I have my priorities and my weekly priorities, my daily priorities. Say, here's what I need you to do this week. All of my human capital, because that's me multiplying myself. That's what I do Monday morning. Okay. The rest of the day is I'm literally prepping all of my different content. I'm prepping my YouTube videos. I'm prepping this show. I'm prepping my digital landlords live. I'm prepping my Wednesday live. I'm prepping any podcast interviews that I'm going to be doing later in the week. I'm prepping and getting ready, and making it so that on Tuesday, I'm busting content, man. It is a day that is so much fun. It is a day that is so draining, because by the time I get done with Tuesday, your boy's tired. Your boy wants to go and take a bottle of Ciroc and go sit in the hot tub for 4 hours and just because I'm so tired. It is a grueling but fun day, and we smash it all out. Wednesday is me checking in with my team, if necessary, doing internal Zooms. And then I do a free Facebook Live inside of the Facebook group. Guys, if you're not in the Facebook group, free. Now, I do the free Facebook group just like you guys give free leads, because I know if you go into my free Facebook group, you're going to see how many people are getting deals. You're going to see people that are getting deals that, if that guy's getting a deal, I should get a deal. And you're going to see little things go, man, maybe I should check out this digital landlords thing, and you'll eventually buy my stuff. I'm not hiding that. And if you don't want to get in there, no problem. And if you never buy my stuff, no problem, because I'm going to keep doing this. And I know how this works out. And I know that you may be listening right now, and you might think that you just got the sickest job ever, and your employer is going to take care of you and get you through this recession. You got a sick, dope 401k plus where they match it and all that stuff. And you're safe and secure. And all it's going to take is somebody really close to you that loses their job who thought they were secure. And heaven forbid that actually ends up being you, but it's going to take a scare. And some of you, it's not even a scare. It's going to have to happen to you. And you're going to go, enough is enough. I'm done trusting somebody else with my future. I'm done putting my family's fate in somebody else's hands. I'm doing my own thing. And you're going to go, I'm doing digital real estate. I'm doing that digital landlord thing because I don't have time to sit on YouTube and scrub through the next year's worth of content, or to go and do this and that. I don't have the time. I need it now. And I'm going to still be putting out content. Guys, I'm a freaking content machine. Okay. That is one of the things that moves the needle for me. And that is why. Okay. That is Wednesday for me. Thursday, creative work, problem solving. What are the things that I need to get done that are problems only I can solve? Those things that are high level that I need to put my brain on, that I need to put and figure out. Okay. And then Friday is creative work as well, but also I give myself a little bit of time. If I want to meet with people that I might invest in their business, I want to meet interesting people, have interesting conversations. I give myself a little bit of flexibility, and that's what I do on Fridays. Guys, that's my schedule. And I make millions and millions of dollars doing this with that stupid schedule. Notice in that schedule, there is not an ice bath. No ice baths in that schedule. I'm not eating some crazy herb or plant from the jungle, even though I live in the jungle. It's essential, okay? I'm not doing a couple 4 hours of meditation. That's it. Those things. By the way, I left something out. Sunday, I plan. I don't work at all. I plan. I plan for 1 hour for the whole week, and I turn off the phone. I turn everything off, and I do not work on Sunday ever, ever, ever. Just like Kanye said, closed on Sunday, just like Chick-fil-A. Okay, I do not work. That's my schedule. Simple, simple, simple. Every single week, guys. Write this down. Becoming a millionaire is a very simple process. It ain't easy, but it's a very simple process. It ain't complicated, man. I'm not a complicated dude. I'm a very simple guy. Very simple, basic education. I know how to read. I'm pretty good at multiplication because I like to count my money, but I'm not that good at math. I do know how to write because I like to write, but I'm a simple, ordinary dude, just like any one of you guys. I've dropped out of college. I've had the only job I ever had is working for my dad. And then from then it's been sales jobs. That's it. I started a business in 2016, got sidetracked, failed the business, came back to the business, almost walked away from it. And then it's exploded ever since because I figured some of these principles out, guys. I gave a challenge. I've got some of my top people in my digital landlords program. So my top OGs in that program. We do a call once a week. Okay. It's kind of this underground thing that I do that I haven't advertised. I don't talk about. I specifically do it with these guys. It's kind of another advanced group. And a couple of weeks ago, I was giving them the formula for networking. And I challenged everyone. I said, guys, if you look at the 5 people that you talk to the most this week, what's their net worth? How much are they making? What moves are they making? Okay. Who are the people you spend the most time talking to? And I challenged all of them. I said, go and add in the next 3 weeks when we have this topic again, because that's how we do it. I challenge every one of you guys to add a new millionaire to your network. Get a hold of them, identify the number one, and for what reason, get a hold of them, get an introduction, go and meet with them in person, on Zoom, or on a phone call. Go and do it, okay? And I told everyone I would meet with somebody that is worth 9 figures. And I had no idea who this was going to be. Well, actually, that's a lie. I thought it would be a specific person. I had no idea how much money he was worth, and he ended up being worth far more than I thought, and he was worth 9 figures, and I made it happen, okay? Why am I sharing this? Because the next time we talked about this, which was last week, I had everyone come on, and I said, share with us who your person was, who your millionaire was that you met with, how you met with them, and what was the what industry, blah, blah, blah. What was the biggest takeaway that you took from that meeting? Maybe it was something they said, maybe it was advice, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was an observation, scheduling thing that you were like, wow, that was impressive. What was it? And guys, between all the people that we all met with and the network that we expanded from that little group, I don't know how many millions of dollars how many 9 figures we expanded into with those people that we met. But every single person that came on and shared that did this challenge, almost without fail, said the same thing. Yeah, they might have shared something that was a little bit whatever. This person was in this industry, and so they said this, but almost all of them said, and they noticed that the person that they met with, that millionaire, that 9-figure person, they weren't doing anything crazy. They weren't doing anything that was so mind-blowing. They just told them, they gave the advice, keep doing the things that move the needle. Keep doing the things that you're already doing, because what you're telling me, if you're actually doing those things, that's going to work. I've just been doing it longer than you. Me, Nick, the king. It's not that I'm any better, guys. I've just been doing this game, and every day when I wake up, I spend my time doing the things that move the needle, and I knock it out and I get it done. I get a lot done in a short amount of time. I've been doing that longer than you. That's it. Aaron, there's no reason if you're still on here that you can't be where I'm at. Ali, there's no reason. Marcus, if I can do it, who bleeds red blood, who's an ordinary dude, high school education, college dropout, only done sales job, worked for his dad as a farmer, okay? If I can do it, there's no reason that you can't. Guys, we have to simplify. If you feel like you're stuck in a rut, I want you to ask yourself, first and foremost, how much can you relate to my 2019? How chaotic is your life? How many revenue streams do you have? How many services are you offering? And if you're not offering digital real estate, if you're not offering rank and rent, if you're not offering lead generation where you own the asset, the question is why? Is it because you're chasing the fast money and you're unwilling to take a step back so you can take 100 steps forward? Because I know for me that one of the biggest reasons why I didn't chase it earlier, because I was like, I need this money. I have to have this money. And then guess what? I almost lost everything. And I was forced to focus on flat fee lead generation. I was focused I was forced to focus on digital real estate. Okay. So guys, simplification. Simple is sexy. Simple is scalable. Simple is repeatable. And simple is how I went from negative 60K to $100,000 a month. This is not speaking from theory. This is not speaking from ideas. This is speaking from practice. I didn't realize it at the time, but this is exactly what I did. This is the exact reason why I was able to scale up that quickly, because I got rid of all the distractions, man. I stopped taking meetings. I stopped saying yes to stupid lunches. And guess what? If people are offended that you don't go to lunch, they don't understand the hustle. If somebody's hitting you up and you're like, bro, I just don't have I'm in a season of my life right now where I'm all on the gas. I'm just not doing lunches, and they're offended by that. That ain't your guy. That ain't your girl. Okay. If I try to hit you with lunch and you're just like, yo, I'm busy because I'm grinding this out. I'm like, respect, man, go get it. Hit me up when you're not. Okay. I respect it because I understand it. Don't be afraid to say no to those things. Simplify. And what I want you guys to do, don't just come on here, listen to me, go away. That was awesome. That was a great message. Good job, Nick. We'll see you next week. What I want you to do is I want you to look at your life and the things. I want you to look at where you spend your time. And this is the challenge. The next week, I want you to take a piece of paper. Guess who's doing this? I didn't do this in preparation for this call, but it's funny. Take a piece of paper like this. You can fold it in whatever, half. And I want you to write the date at the top. And I want you to track every minute of your time for the next week. I want to know at 6:30 to 7:30 what I was doing. 7:30 to 8:25 what I was doing. 8:25 to 8:42 what I was doing. 8:42 to 9:38 what I was doing. 9:38. These are real times, guys. I've been doing this today because I want you to see where you're spending your time. Okay, because my guess is 50% of the stuff you're doing is you're wasting time. But even the stuff that you're doing, you shouldn't be doing. It's not moving the needle. Okay, you're spending time consulting. You're taking phone calls, guys. You can't get a hold of me if you try. You can't. My people get so pissed. My thing's on focus mode. I don't answer the phone. On Mondays, you're not reaching me, man. I'm doing my stuff. Tuesdays, you're not reaching me. By Thursday, by Wednesday night, I'm starting to come out of the woods a little bit, but I don't care what fire it is. You're not reaching me because I'm on my stuff. I'm just getting stuff done. So guys, simple is sexy. Simple is how you win the DRE game. Okay, real quick. If I have a chance, I'm going to do a couple of questions really, really quick. Okay. Okay, what do we got here? Casey says 100% agree with that. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I appreciate you saying that. Not sure what I was referencing. Casey Marcus says artificial grass. I focused on artificial grass all of 2021. It was a huge huge niche for me. I haven't done an artificial grass project in a minute. I kind of came out of there as well. Zane, do you write blogs on your sites? Nope. I focus primarily on my due diligence process, and I focus most of my content making sure my homepage is a juicy mother. Okay. I focus primarily on my homepage, adding content to my homepage, my service pages. I don't do blogs. I've never done a blog on my lead gen sites. I do have another couple websites I'm working on. If you're doing a blog, then you need a blog. You need to do blogs. I don't do them. Okay. On my lead gen site, I do not do blogs. Great question. Okay. Guys, take what I'm sharing today, simplify, simplify, simplify. Go and take action. Okay. If you're not taking action from these calls, what are you doing? I'm out.